for which job you don't need an apprenticeship, nor a school, nor university. My father, Paul Vosseler, born in 1890, he was a professor of geography here in Basel. And after an accident, one of his legs was 2.5 inches shorter than the other one. But nevertheless, he was a tough act to follow for his students. He was a dreaded walker and did all his geography field trips either by walking or by bike. And he also invested incentive money for my walking. So he told my brother and myself, if you walk from the home at the Bruderholz to the school on the Münsterplatz, Cathedral Square, I pay you 25 cents. So we walked in the morning, before noon, in the afternoon, in the evening. We earned 1 Swiss franc a day, for a boy at that time, quite a lot of money. And I had a part-time job already then, walking. Since then, I did a lot of other things, but the activity I did the most next to sleeping was walking. So I became somehow a professional walker. And whereas as a boy I did it for money, later I did it also as a part of my political activities for the promotion of an earth-compatible, high-quality lifestyle. And the more I walked, the more I discovered benefits other than money. And I would like to share 3 of them with you tonight. In the 90s, I did several walks with friends and with a mule through Switzerland. And in 1999, I walked from Constance, Germany to Santiago de Compostela in Spain with a friend. And the impressions of nature, culture, and heartwarming encounters motivated me to consider a walk from Basel to Jerusalem. And I did it in the hot summer of 2003, 5.5 months, 4 pairs of sandals, usually not knowing where I will stay for the night or what will be my next meal. And now I would like to take you on this trip to Jerusalem. I started at the 28th of June here at the Bachlettenstrasse near the Kuba, and I had to become 55 until I discovered the beauty of the Koblenzer Laufen. This Rhine chute in short distance to Basel, with its reddish yellow chalk rocks, with the lush woods on the river banks, with the soft forest trail, then with the soothing music of the waves, and with a swarm of metallic shimmering dark blue dragonflies above the waters. And then I continued the walk to Austria, and next to nature's beauties and the challenges of the walks, I experienced sometimes also funny things. So a farmer asked me, "Where do you go?" "Jerusalem." "What? By foot? You must be crazy. Da müssen's Walker gesündigt haben, das so weit zu Fuß gehen. You must be a huge sinner that you walk such a big distance." But then, after 3.5 weeks of walking, I had the deepest impression of my whole walk. It was just before Vienna. The hills behind me were fading, the mountain crests in front of me coming up, and suddenly I had this overwhelming feeling to walk on the curved surface of this huge globe, walking through the universe. And this planetary feeling made me so awed about the miracle and the beauty of the sun and of Earth. Earth, this perfectly shaped ball that has exactly the right distance to the sun, 150 million kilometers, that we don't burn and don't freeze. It has exactly the right size that the water doesn't disperse into the universe thanks to gravity. And then this very delicate, thin layer of air with oxygen. That's only about 8,000 meters. You can walk this distance in 2 hours. It's from here to the center of Lörrach, And experiencing all that, I came to the first revelation that I would like to share with you. Walking connects us in a very deep way with planet Earth and with the universe. And the second revelation has to do with numerous encounters with friendly, hospitable, and generous people. I continued the walk through Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, to the Black Sea, then to Istanbul, then through Anatolia, and now we are in Sarajik. It's a small town in the Anatolian mountains. It's getting dark, it's cold, snowflakes are whirling through the air. And I ask a shepherd where the Muhtar lives. Muhtar is the town chief. And he points to a house with a green tin roof, and I knock at the door, and Ahmed opens. And I say, I make a Hajj Kudüs'e, a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, and is there a place in town where I can stay for the night? And he said, come in. And Sanya, his wife, spreads a cloth to the living room floor, and she brings a fantastic Ramadan dinner. And then they put new linen to the marital bed and heat the stove. And after a while, I'm lying in this warm bed, listening to the singing stove and the strong wind which is shaking the foundations of the house. And the next morning, Sanya gets up early. She bakes a burek, this flat bread with cheese. So I have something to eat during the day. And Ahmed accompanies me to the mountain pass. And when we say goodbye, both of us has tears in our eyes, because I met these people, strangers, some hours ago, and they welcomed me, as like a friend, an old friend or a family member. And they spoiled me with so much generosity and love. And now I come to the second realization. Walking brings people together, and it connects brothers and sisters of the human family in a very deep way, and it facilitates friendships. This third realization has to do with health. Before entering Syria, I had a last episode of a chronic inflammation of my right knee. I suffered from several such episodes in 2002 during that year with pain, swelling, stiffness. And now after a 60-kilometer stretch, I had it again. But I continued, and after a while, the symptoms disappeared. And since then, 2003 until today, no problems anymore with the knee. So as a medical doctor, I was kind of surprised that the long, moderate challenge for this joint has healed it. A possibility I never heard about in medical school. And in addition, I learned how healthy walking is for the rest of the body. It's good for the heart, it's good for the circulation, it's good for the arteries, the veins, It's good for prevention of high blood pressure. It's good against obesity, overweight. After my long walks, I never had 1 excess gram of fat in my body. And it's also good for diabetes. A diabetologist said once, you can walk away from diabetes. It's good. It's good for the immune system. I was so cold and wet many times, never got a cold. I had 14 tick bites in Austria, didn't get an infection. And it's good for the psyche. I was always so euphoric during my walks. And my best ideas and inspiration, they come when I walk. So, All these positive effects are caused by a whole cocktail of happiness hormones. You know, this is the dopamine, the serotonin, then the noradrenaline, then the phenethylamine, the endorphins, the oxytocin. And I can conclude walking is the simplest, the most cost-effective, and the most efficient preventive and therapeutic measure in medicine. And it has a huge potential for improvement of public health. When I finally arrived in Jerusalem, I leaned against the warm rocks of the old town wall, you know, and then I had, like in a near-death moment, the whole trip passed in front of my inner eye with all its experiences, encounters, with all the learning. And I was so deeply grateful to arrive in a healthy way, for the life that my parents gave me, and for the fact that I could do this long trip in a completely Earth-compatible way. So for us as a species, the only species among the about 50 million species we have, animal species we have on the planet Earth, which doesn't live in an Earth-compatible way, to become Earth-compatible and to keep this wonderful planet inhabitable, that's not an easy task. And it needs the cooperation of all of us. With walking, I found an activity I can do. I can do it well, and I like it. And it's an activity that's good for the planet and for myself. So you can choose also an activity that you can do, that you do well, and that you like, and that's also good for you and for the planet. And so you do your thing, I do my thing, and together we help to make the miracle possible. I'm very much looking forward to my future walks and to meet some of you when you do your thing and our paths cross. And then we can celebrate this amazing journey to become Earth-compatible, together with all the other species of this unique oasis in the universe, Mother Earth. Thank you.